recap the first game of NFL Wildcard Weekend with the Buffalo Bills versus the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans beat the Buffalo Bills 22-19, and what was a very entertaining game, very entertaining. Deshaun Watson, ladies and gentlemen, is a superstar. He is, without a doubt, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, this dude, time in and time out, carried Houston on his back. He willed this Houston team to this victory. This guy got sacked 6 times, got right back up. He was getting popped. He was getting thrown around like a rag doll. And every time he was getting back up, and he would come back even harder. Now, the first half, when Houston laid a goose egg on the scoreboard, Bill O'Brien. I know a lot of Houston Texans fans, and a lot of people don't really like Bill O'Brien. They don't think he's a good coach. You got to give Bill O'Brien his props. He came in after that first half, after halftime, and came to the second half and made adjustments. The offensive line played a lot better than what they did in the first half, and they made the necessary adjustments that they needed to win the game. So, Deshaun Watson is superhuman. This dude is superhuman. I mean, and that overtime drive, man, the overtime drive to seal the game. I mean, this dude, Buffalo had 2 wide open blitzers that came and hit Deshaun Watson, and somehow he was able to spin off those 2 and extend the drive. Wow. And that play got Houston into scoring range, which Houston went on to kick the game-winning field goal. So, Buffalo played a solid game. Josh Allen made some good throws. He made a lot of bad decisions as well. I don't know what the heck he was thinking trying to pitch the ball back in that last drive of the fourth quarter. I don't really understand his logic for that. And also when he, in the overtime part of the game, he threw that deep bomb to the fullback, Patrick DeMarco, I think it was. So, I mean, Josh Allen, he played a really solid game for the most part, other than a couple of throws that you had to close your eyes. But I think he played a pretty solid game. Devin Singletary was the MVP of the game for the Buffalo Bills. He was a workhorse. He did a lot of things for the Buffalo Bills. He caught a couple of key passes that helped the Buffalo Bills out, and he also had some big runs as well. So, I mean, the Buffalo Bills played a really good game. At one point, I thought Buffalo was going to end up blowing out Houston, because at one point in the game, they was up 16-0, and then Houston, though it's so surprising that Houston was able to find a way to win this game, because the offensive line did not really play good. This is probably one of the worst performances I've seen out of an offensive line in the playoffs in a couple of years now. So, I mean, the offensive line in the first half, they got dominated up front by Buffalo. In the second half, they still pretty much got dominated up front by Buffalo, but they were able to pick it up somewhat. So, Deshaun Watson, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why Houston won this game. I mean, this dude is a superstar. This dude, on the national stage, went out and showed the whole entire country in America that he is legitimately one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you don't feel that way, then maybe you should stop watching football. So the Houston Texans beat the Buffalo Bills. I mean, this was a very exciting game. I mean, a lot of big plays, a lot of huge risk, a lot of big gambles. Houston had the big run by Deshaun Watson for the touchdown. Then you also had Deshaun Watson rolling out for the touchdown to Carlos Hyde late in the fourth. So, I mean, Houston was getting dominated in the first half. They came out at the halftime and made the necessary adjustments that they needed to win the game. And at one point, I mean, you would think that Buffalo was going to blow the doors out of Houston. I mean, it just looked like at one point Houston was just outmatched physically by the Buffalo Bills. This is a Buffalo Bills team that has nothing to be ashamed of. They had a very good year. I had a feeling that Buffalo was going to make it to the playoffs this year. I predicted it in my all-season predictions, and everybody called me crazy, said that I was dumb for choosing Buffalo to make it to the wild card. But Buffalo proved me right. They went to the wild card. And I mean, I thought Buffalo was going to win this game coming into this matchup, because the reason I thought Buffalo was going to win this game was because I thought Buffalo's defensive line was going to be able to get the best of that Houston Texans offensive line and get Deshaun Watson on the ground. And that did come true. Buffalo had 6 sacks this game, but the difference between the Houston Texans winning this game and Buffalo losing this game was Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was just on another level. He was indeed looking like Michael Jordan out there. The dude just could not be brought down. It was very impressive. Every time he was getting knocked down, he kept on getting back up, and he kept on fighting. And he kept Houston in the game, and he helped Houston win this game at the end. It was a very encouraging performance out of Deshaun Watson and Houston Texans. Josh Allen, the thing with the Buffalo Bills is that they were not able to finish the game off. They had several opportunities to win this game and finish off the Houston Texans, but they were unable to do that. And that's what you see out of a young team with a bunch of young players. You normally see a team that's young like the Buffalo Bills that hasn't really had a lot of success and hasn't really been to the playoffs all that often. They struggle to close the games out and close moments. And Buffalo, that's what happened. They had several opportunities to close the game out, and they had dumb penalties or crazy mistakes that kept them from being able to do that. I mean, that overtime drive, Buffalo could have won the game. All they had to do was just get one more extra yard and kick the field goal, and Buffalo would have ended up going on to the divisional round. But instead, you had the illegal block or the cutback block that he had on one of the players, Kobe Ford, on the rookie offensive tackle on Kobe Ford. I think it was like a cutback block or something like that. They ended up getting penalized and then put Buffalo in a very long situation. So the Buffalo Bills, man, they just showed that they have a bright future, but they just showed that they were just a young team. They looked really inexperienced, and in big moments, they showed what a young team does. They were unable to close the games out, and they were unable to close off the Houston Texans. All they needed to do was get one more score to close off the Houston Texans throughout the third quarter, and they were unable to do that. They were unable to put the Houston Texans away, and that's the difference between the Houston Texans winning this game and the Buffalo Bills winning this game. You see, the Buffalo Bills came in this game very hot. They started this game out very fast. They got out to a big lead early, and all they just had to do in the second half was just get one more score, and they could have won the game, but they were unable to do that. And that's what you see out of a young team. Young teams struggle to put away games. They struggle to win games late in the fourth quarter, and they struggle with trying to put teams away. That's what you see out of a young, inexperienced team, and that's what we saw today out of Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team. They have a bright future, but they lost this game because they were unable to put the Houston Texans away. And this was a Houston Texans offense that was struggling for the most part of this game until midway through the third quarter and the fourth quarter, which they dominated. Houston, you got to give a big up to Deshaun Watson. I've done said it all this video. Deshaun Watson was the difference in this game. I've never seen a player break off two unmanned blitzers, extend the play, and it's just incredible. Deshaun Watson willed this Houston Texans team to a victory. So, Houston wins 22-19. Very good game. Buffalo has nothing to be ashamed of. They played a good game. Josh Allen was very good for the most part, although he had a couple of passes that were inaccurate. But that's what you expect out of Josh Allen. Not every quarterback is perfect. But he also had a couple of boneheaded decisions as well, which surprisingly didn't come back to bite Buffalo in the butt. What came back to bite Buffalo in the butt was the penalties. The penalty on Kobe Ford was very unnecessary, and it really cost the Buffalo Bills this game. And that's what you see out of a young team like Buffalo. You saw a lot of things good, but ultimately Buffalo was unable to close off the Houston Texans and finish out the Houston Texans. So Houston, next week they either play the Ravens or they play the Chiefs, so it's going to be really interesting how that ends up going. If you're the Buffalo Bills, obviously you have a lot to build on. The offensive line looked very good in this game. J.J. Watt J.J. Watt's going to get his regardless, but I thought Buffalo did a very good job of containing J.J. Watt for the most part, although he had a couple of big plays here and there. But ultimately, I thought Buffalo had a good job. But Buffalo, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you're watching this, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You have a very bright future. All you got to do is get you a true number one wide receiver, improve the defense a little bit, and I expect the Buffalo Bills to be back in the playoffs next season. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think about this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos, and thanks for watching.